Hey, Brit.
Hey, Sid. How was your week?
I thought about if my week was a rejection letter, it would be
Yes.
we're exploring other options. We're going to explore, we're going to go in a different direction.
We're going
That's
in
what
a
it is.
different
We're going in a
direction.
different direction. Because this week I really went in a different direction, which is that this was a big week for us. We launched this podcast.
We launched this podcast, which is like so exciting.
Yeah.
And we're so happy that a couple people listened to it.
A few people have listened to it. I've seen some activity in the Bronx. I'm not sure if you know
No.
anybody in the Bronx, but
I might.
it could be anybody. So thanks to you, whoever in the Bronx is listening. Thanks.
We
Shout
love
out to
you.
Yeah,
Thank
we love
you.
you. I saw some people in LA. Of course, I'm not surprised by that. That would be some of your friends. Do you know anybody in Salt Lake City? I don't. So I was just wondering if you did. Anyone from Mom Talk?
Yes. Mom Talk is definitely listening. No. I don't know anybody in Salt Lake City, so that's I wonder where. No, I know somebody in Colorado that said they were going to listen, but that's the exact same thing as Salt Lake City, right?
Pretty much.
Same thing.
Pretty
Same
much.
geographical location.
Right there. That whole area. Big part of the country, but not a lot there. I think we can all agree.
We're just
Okay, wait.
bashing.
We should probably do the intro.
do the intro. Welcome to Linked Out. Welcome to Linked Out, the podcast that won't help you get a job, but will make you feel better about not having one.
All right. Welcome back to another week of Linked Out. I'm Sydney.
And
Did I
I'm
already
Brit,
introduce
and
myself?
we already did that. But
whoops.
just in case you guys forgot from 25 seconds ago. And hopefully you're coming back and you listen to the other episodes of this podcast. And if you are, thank you. And if this is the first one you're hearing, also thank you. We love you all equally.
Yeah, we do. This week, Brit had a job interview.
Big developments.
Big developments. Actually, a lot more than just one job interview.
I had a couple
You
job
had
interviews.
2 job interviews.
Yeah. And not unlike it's like not unlike the previous weeks, but these ones were a little more promising. The other, like my previous interviews, like, yes, I have had interviews where I've made it through the 4th, 5th, and 6th round, but like as of late, I've been, not getting past the like initial recruiter chat.
Yeah.
Mostly. So like this is past the recruiter chat. And one of these interviews was not even from someone I know. So that's weird. And that's never really happened. And
it is a legitimate company.
It is a legitimate company. And this is the 3rd interview. And this was the one, I believe I talked about it on a previous episode. They made me do this like full brief copy test that I didn't want to do.
I think we talked about it last
and
time.
I thought they were going to ghost. And they took so I did this copy test about 3 to 4 weeks. So almost a month ago is when I did that copy test. And they just got back to me like last week. And they were like, let's set up an interview. We loved your copy test. So I thought I was never going to hear from them again. And I did hear from them again. And they did give me a Zoom interview today, which was very hectic. And they asked me some really fucking weird questions.
I want to know everything that they asked you. I know you already told me that they had you take a personality assessment. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to hear about that.
So they had me take 2 personality tests, 2 separate ones from third-party companies that they are not affiliated with. You don't have to enter any of your information into the system. They just say to take the test and then take a screenshot of the results.
So you had your Enneagram as one of them,
Yes.
And I think a lot of people have heard of that one. I know I've heard of that one. The other one I haven't heard of, MBTI. And when the link you sent me, it goes to a website called 16personalities.com.
Yeah. And that one
I'm guessing
and that one is interesting because they have a free test and then they have one that you have to pay $25 for. But like when you go to it, they go, you can take the free test, which doesn't really have anything you need and really won't tell you anything about your personality. Or you can pay $25 to get an extensive personality test, which tells you everything you need and exactly what your personality is. And so like, obviously the company is not going to fucking shell out the $25. So they just tell you to take the free test, which doesn't give you anything you need.
I don't necessarily understand why they made you take this like as a part of your interview. The only time
they just said take it before the interview.
Oh, before the
interview. To not even the person I was interviewing with. I had to send it to like the guy setting up the interviews.
I've only ever had to do for work like one of these personality tests before, but it was after I'd been working there for a while. And it was like a company-wide thing. They like wanted everybody to do it. And then they like had a meeting about like, what does it mean if you're, this? And I think it was Enneagram. It was like, INTJ or whatever the fucking, I don't know all the different ones. But, and then you like got together with people on the team who were the same personality type as you and stuff and blah, blah, blah. It was just really just like a team building thing. But I've never, ever heard of taking two personality tests as precursor to your interview.
2 personality tests and a full brief copy test that I had to take, which was
you've sunk a lot of time into this.
I know. And you know what? I don't even think I'm going to end up working there if they give me the job.
Yeah.
But I will say that it will be satisfying if they happen to give me this job, just even if I don't end up taking it, just because like at least I will have finally made it to the final interview boss.
I just wonder, I also wonder, I agree with everything you just said, but I wonder too, like, what are they looking for with the personality?
I don't know, because the questions are so weird. They're like, do you ever write copy
also, I could have
based on
just
your
told them
emotions?
what your personality is.
Right.
They could have just asked me.
Yeah, except that like
she's type B.
Yeah, but like I lie and tell them I'm type A because people don't want a type B like scatterbrain to be working at their company.
Brit,
they want somebody
you gotta
that's like
own your type B.
No, absolutely not. They want somebody like organized. They want somebody to make daily lists of things every day.
That's not going to be you.
No, it's not going to be me, but I'm going to tell them that is me so that I can get the job. And then
let me just say, I think there obviously is like a type A has the better reputation, I guess.
Yeah,
better
that's
marketing
true.
for type A, but
right.
Type B, I think it means you're like more creative.
Type
so, like,
B has the better ideas.
Yeah, for what you do, I think maybe just don't sell yourself short.
Right, but like
I don't think your type B-ness is a hindrance.
I don't think so either, but it can be sometimes, obviously. Like type A, think people can have hindrances too sometimes, but like
they're too anal.
They're too rigid and like really like need to stick to a schedule, can't go with the flow.
Yeah, but not someone you'd want to get a beer with.
Definitely. But I don't think like for these types of companies, like I think that they want a type A with type B creativity, which like just doesn't really exist. So you just make it up and pretend like it exists for the sake of getting a job. Because, number one rule of getting a job is lie. Number 1, 2, and 3 rule is lie. Number 1's lie. 2 is lie. 3 is lie. Those are the top 3.
I started taking this personality test, but I'm not going to keep going because
I'll get
too distracted.
Do you ever make decisions based on your emotions? I'm like, never.
Okay,
let's read a couple of the questions.
Well, I'm going to have to answer them to keep asking them because they're not all on one page. But this one is funny because you find the idea of networking or promoting yourself to strangers very daunting. And then
so I
agree to disagree.
Okay, so I would truthfully agree with that. But for the test I took, I disagreed with that. So
Of course.
I do not find networking daunting. I love to network, but
She'll network.
I'll network
She'll network all day.
all day long. So yeah, so that's, you know, an example of how you lie on the personality test.
Okay, but tell me now, tell everybody what was one of the questions. It might not have been on this one, but on one of the other ones that they asked you.
No, but like so what I took these tests, I sent a screenshot to the guy. I had a Zoom interview with the creative director, and the first question that she asked me on the Zoom interview for a copywriting job for like, I don't know if I say the products, if it like gives away for like,
No, it doesn't even matter. It's just for some random products or something.
for like it's like a company for like specific products. It's like a wellness company basically. So the first question she asked me was, if you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be? I was like, what? What the fuck?
And you've never been asked this question in a job interview, I'm assuming. You've
No,
been asked
I never have.
Every question under the
Every
sun.
question. I have been on 75 fucking job interviews in the last year. Nobody has asked me this question.
This is not a question that's typically asked in a job interview. That's
this
why.
is a stupid fucking question.
This is a stupid question for like, I don't know, dating apps maybe or something.
I'm not like some fucking 19-year-old who just did mushrooms in their parents' basement and they're like,
it's not a college essay.
Yeah.
It's not your college admissions essay. Fuck.
Stupid. So stupid.
So stupid, but I have to know, who did you say?
So I said,
and I'm not going to know who they are. I already know. But
no, you will. You'll know who they are. So I said Vivian Westwood.
Okay.
And I said, I was like, Vivian Westwood, I just like think her life is so interesting. And then I was kind of like stalling, obviously, when I was explaining how much I
trying
love
to think
Vivian
of the next
Westwood.
person.
And then I was like, and maybe Lucille Ball. So I thought that was those two were pretty solid.
Yeah, I love Lucy.
And then I just like couldn't think of anybody else, and no shade to this woman, because like I do think she's great. I don't know if I just said Carol Burnett. And I was like, okay, like I was like,
that's crazy.
Vivian Westwood, Lucille Ball, and Carol Burnett were the 3 people.
That's pretty good, Brittany, for just that being like totally off the top of your dome.
Off the top of my head. And the lady seemed to like it. I was like, yeah. And I also think that would be a really fun dinner party. And I think getting those women together would be a pretty good time.
Oh my God. That's pretty good. I can't even, if someone asked me that and I had to like come up with something right then, I'm almost certain I would have said Elvis at some point.
But see, like,
because I just can't think of anything.
If you say Elvis,
something stupid.
So I was trying to like, my brain is like, you know, moving like as fast as it can, like trying to catalog like problematic celebrities.
Oh yeah, exactly. Head, no, everything has. There's not. Yeah, nobody.
So I'm like, if you go with women, they're way less problematic.
True,
so
true,
I was
true.
like, we'll just.
Too true.
And I mean, I would like to have dinner with all of those people. I just didn't think anybody would ever, like, this is just the dumbest question for a copywriting job.
Dumbest question.
Like, get it together. Like,
oh
you guys
my God.
are fucked up.
What else did they ask you? Also, like, makes me think, is this your first time interviewing someone? Hello? That's the question you brought?
No,
Hello?
She says, no, but but this isn't the first time that they've asked that question. I guess they asked everybody, because the lady who was interviewing me was like, I know when I was interviewing here and they asked me that, I was like, whoa, caught me off guard. And I was like, okay,
but you're still doing it.
You're still doing it. Well, because I think it's like a little corporate and you like have to ask these same questions to every applicant. Because she was even like,
that's so cheesy.
Some of the questions she was asking me were like the same exact question rephrased. And the lady asking them was even like, okay, so you kind of already answered this with that question, but I just have to ask it because it's in the question.
She's like reading from a script.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, yeah.
That's so cheesy.
I'll answer the question about marketing rephrased 3 fucking times. Like,
yeah, how many different ways can I skin a cat?
Yeah, like, come on. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I really, And I had such a problem with this interview because like they moved it. So I timed out my daughter's nap to be like when the interview was supposed to be. Obviously that's not going to fucking work, but they moved,
never works.
But they moved the interview. Like they were like, can we move it like 15 minutes later? And I was like, yeah, no problem. Of course, I'm fucking agreeable. And so like she was napping at the start of the interview and she like woke up mid-interview. And as you know, I don't like to tell anybody that I'm interviewing with that I even like remotely have a child. So it was just like very hectic. Like it was like she was awake and I'm looking at her on the monitor and she's like kind of like fussing and kind of playing with her stuffed animals. And I'm just like, just 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes.
You're like, okay, I'm turning this off and we're going to hope for the best.
Yeah. So I made it through and I think I did a pretty damn good job under all of that pressure, getting asked the dumbest fucking questions I've ever heard.
You're the coolest. You're the coolest under pressure. I would have been like, okay, next question. Skip.
Skip.
I'm gonna call a friend.
Let me call a friend. Hold on 1 second.
I want a lifeline here. Because I don't have that question teed up inside of me, ready to go. And by the way,
who does? Who does?
Right.
Nobody does. It's such a dumb question.
It is.
Like, who would you have dinner? I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, that's the world's dumbest fucking interview questions for a copywriting job. Great. Are they trying to like, and then I'm like analyzing it after. I'm like, are you trying to figure out if I think on my feet or not? You know, like, is that like a thing? Like, am I going to have to like talk to clients and you just want to see if I can like
rap,
tap dance for you?
This is so subjective. There's no right or wrong answer to that question.
There's not.
The only wrong answer, I guess, is just to not answer.
Well, one of the wrong answers would probably be Elon Musk, Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah. There's for sure wrong answers, I guess, in that sense. But
Army Hammer. I'm like, I would love to, like, no, come on. But one of and then I was like, so after I was just like cracking myself up trying to think of like the most problematic people I could have dinner with. And I was like, what if I just said that?
Oh my God. Let's redo the interview now.
Let's redo it.
You give me your worst answers.
But like one of the other questions, and I like made this joke and she laughed at it, but like, I don't know, like now that I think of it, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have made such a joke. Where I was like, she was like, how do you grab people's attention in the subject line of an email? And I was like, first, you want to start with lots of exclamation points and all capital letters. And then I was like, just kidding. And then she was like, oh my God. And she started laughing and she was like, okay, I was going to say things were going so well. And then you come out with that. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm just kidding. You just have to think of a really good hook that speaks to your audience, obviously. And something that like kind of like, talks about the product without like blatantly talking about the product, And she was like, totally. But I was like, did I blow it with that joke?
That's funny. No, clearly you didn't. It sounds like you nailed this interview.
It sounds like that, but you know what? I've nailed other I've thought I nailed other interviews before.
I know.
That I had never heard from them again and couldn't.
I just don't want these people to waste any more of your time. And
I'm doing it for the pod.
No, I know you are, and we appreciate it, and we all appreciate it.
I'm doing it for content.
Okay. So then. That's that. And then we have a separate other thing that was happening too. And we kind of talked a little bit about this last week because you had this opportunity from someone that you know. And then they kind of went silent and then they came back around again. And that's maybe you interviewed this week or no?
I interviewed this week with the preliminary like first person interview.
Yeah. So not.
And so she kind of just put me through to the next round because
But it's at least good that it's at least heartwarming is, I don't know, but that you heard from them again. I mean,
Oh yeah, I didn't think I would.
because we both were like a little last week. We were like, and I was like, they're gonna call, but also in the back of my head, I was like, are they gonna call?
They're not gonna call.
Are they gonna call?
See. I just automatically think nobody's like. Every time I talk to someone, I go, well, it was really nice having a brief interaction with you. I'll never see you or hear from you again.
Holy shit, that's so funny.
Goodbye forever.
Goodbye forever. Well, this was our one singular interaction in all of life, and we will never, our paths will never cross ever again. Well, that's a fun way to think about it.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye forever.
Bye forever. TTYN.
That's a fun way to think about it. What was the butterfly effect about? This is kind of like that, right? This is your interview process.
Yeah, this is my
the butterfly
interview.
effect.
Each little thing you do affects every little thing everybody else does.
Ashton Kutcher. Not a good celebrity to meet.
Bad celebrity.
Probably.
I don't.
But
wanna
also,
have
they
dinner
did
with
say
them.
dead or alive, and I feel like that means you're kind of supposed to choose somebody who's dead. I don't know,
Right,
because it's
maybe.
like
Well, Carol Burnett's still alive.
Okay, I didn't know that, and I'm sorry. But
No, that's okay. I mean, it's not people. I
I'm
mean,
sorry
she's
to
really,
her. I didn't think
She's
she
really
was-
old. She was actually in the last season of Better Call Saul, which
Oh.
is interesting. That was like the first time she's made like a television appearance. Anyway, I could go on about Carol Burnett, but that's not what this podcast is about. I guess. But yeah, I think. Yeah, dead or alive, they probably want you to pick somebody. Well,
they at least want you to have at least one dead person,
right? Yeah,
because it's like historical. You know, I don't know. It makes you sound smarter. I'm assuming a little bit because you know about people that are dead.
because I know about dead people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. See, because I don't have a good answer for this, so obviously I don't know. I don't know what would even be. I'm
gonna ask you again next week and see if you have a better answer.
No, don't ask me, please. I'm not gonna be ready. Please don't ask me. I'm just
not
gonna
ready,
sound like
but
a
you've
fucking
had a
idiot.
week. What if
I'm gonna forget, and then I'm
what
gonna
if
sound.
someone asks you in an interview?
Well, now I
Have
guess.
it ready.
Yeah, now I guess.
Have it locked and loaded. And the lady that I spoke with was like, yeah, she was like, I really did prepare so much for my interview with this company when I started, and that question caught me off guard. I was like, I have an answer for everything except for that, because who thinks they're gonna ask that? And I was like, yeah, so why are you doing it, lady? Like,
Yeah, why are you perpetuating it? Think for yourself.
think for yourself.
Well, I want to know what your personality results were too, but maybe you can tell me because you probably forgot, and then
I did forget.
yeah, I know you forgot.
No, let me find it.
And we can post your personality results too.
Okay.
We can post mine too if I take these tests. Big if. All right. So meanwhile, what about let's check back in on our favorite.
Here, wait. This I can tell
okay.
you.
Go ahead.
Should I?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the first one, it was personality traits. Your time is limited, so you don't waste time living someone else's life, and that is a Steve Jobs quote that they used to describe my personality.
Wait, what?
That's just what it. That's
So you're like
that's
the same
answer.
personality as Steve Jobs?
No, I think they just used that
Oh,
quote.
okay.
They're like, you're a natural born leader with unparalleled drive to turn your visions into reality.
This isn't really your personality test because this is your personality test under
based
on what you wanted.
I think they want to hear.
Yeah.
And some of them I was like, oh yeah, that's what I would pick. Like for just a few, but most of them I was like, what do they want me to pick?
Yeah. So we need to take it again.
Oh, we got to take it for
and
real.
do your real personality.
Okay.
Which again, by the way, I already know what it is, so I don't really need this.
She doesn't need to know.
I know what your personality is at this point.
Hey, I'm a goat.
And I like it. I'm
I
not
like
saying I
it.
don't like
I
your
hope so.
personality. I like it.
So we spend a lot of time together. If you didn't like me,
That'd
that
be
would be a
weird,
real
wouldn't
bummer
it?
for you.
Yeah, it would be a real bummer for me.
Like you're like, oh man, I really don't like this chick, but guess we'll hang out again.
God. Why did I start a podcast?
Better
with
get
her?
over to the podcast studio. Oh, I hate Wednesdays.
Imagine, yeah, just doing this out of just like sheer begrudgingly
frenemies.
Like, I have nothing else to do, but I'm just going to force myself to.
I'm going to force it.
Okay. That's not how I feel, obviously. I was going to say, let's check back in on what's going on recruiting hell. I pulled up a couple of things. So normally the way I find out about like what I think is funny on recruiting hell is they email me at like, they send like is it every day? Maybe it's every day. They send an email with like one thing from recruiting hell, and it's like the subject line is normally something that I think is funny. So that's how I find out about it. Well,
Okay.
All that to say, I haven't really seen anything that new this week. So I had to do a little bit of digging to find some stuff. And one thing I found that is kind of interesting is that somebody started so the subject is fight ghost jobs, hold companies accountable, and empower job applicants. So this person posted on Recruiting Hell that they made a browser plugin a browser extension, that helps you like detect and flag ghost jobs.
Whoa.
Yeah, and
That's
they said
incredible.
I know, and they are just now they just started working on it, so it's still in alpha, is what they say. So there's some bugs, and more features are going to come as they can make it even better. But it's completely free and independent, and it's just supposed to help you flag suspicious jobs, and then it also says it shows a company's past postings and current postings, which can reveal interesting patterns like constant reposting or decrease of salary over time, other kinds of like red flag things.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's cool that somebody did that, and thank you to them. Their username on Reddit is voidwater1. I think that's just one of the ones that Reddit comes up with for you, because I started so now I finally joined Reddit, by the way. After all this time, I finally joined. Big step. Big step. And my username is jealousfly6791. Fly, like the bug.
Wait, so they made that up?
So Reddit just made that up, and I haven't changed.
Jealousfly?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I know. So I bet this person's is just one of the like stock ones that they give you. But anyway, thank you so much for inventing this like browser extension to help people like not apply to fake jobs. That's pretty cool.
You had all the time to invent this browser thing
and not get a job
and not to make up a name on Reddit.
Listen, priorities,
yes.
You know?
Yes. But that is really cool. I love that.
And then I also saw now, because it was one of our episodes, we talked about, maybe the first episode, I can't remember, but we talked about this user, Kiki McAss, who wrote this cover letter about.
Oh, yes.
And did like crunched all the data.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
And he started a subreddit, I figured out via doing my research about him. He started a subreddit called Fight Fake Jobs, and it's not super active. I mean, there are posts and stuff on it. I will keep checking back in on it, but that's another fun place for you guys to find community. And also, like, maybe if you're worried that something is a fake job, like, post it on here and see like what other people think, or And then the only other thing I found on Recruiting Hell this week was this one's kind of a feel-good thing, so like maybe I should save it for later. I don't know. Do you want to feel good now,
or do
you want to feel good later?
I think I like to end on a high note.
All right, we'll come back to that.
We'll come back. Put a pin in that.
We'll circle back to that.
Put a positive pin in it.
We'll put a little pin in it, and I hope I don't forget, but I probably will. All right, so
now who's type B? Is it me or you?
I am type B, Brittany, but you just make me look type A.
I take the B cake.
You do. You do it so much better than I do, and I could never hold a candle to your... I'm like,
I just keep sending Sydney type B personality like TikTok skits, and I'm like, I'm not that bad. And then I'm like, wait, maybe I am.
I sent you one yesterday that was so funny. Did you see it? It was like type B person on the day of like a giant, of like a huge event. And it was like a person like going shopping for an outfit, like in their pajamas, like have no plan at all for.
That's true.
And I was like, that's you.
That's me. But if you're a job interviewer, that is not me.
She's extremely type A.
I'm so type A. I'm making lists. I'm checking them twice.
Damn.
Like the type A Santa Claus of work.
Have you gotten any emails from LinkedIn this week or ever, I guess, but it's mostly recently where it's like someone's name is requesting your service for like, is like requesting copywriting service or requesting marketing service. Okay.
Not this week.
Yeah, but you've gotten them. Mm-hmm. And then they're nowhere to be found on LinkedIn itself because you have to like pay for a premium account to be able to see these like requests. They're supposed to be like, I think it's LinkedIn's foray into like
it's
like
part of the scam.
It's definitely part of the scam, dude, for sure. But I think it's their like foray into like what would it look like if LinkedIn was kind of like operated the same way that like Fiverr operates or like Upwork operates, where it's like people can actually work within the platform,
right,
and like connect in that way, versus like just clicking out to like an external link for a job post or whatever. But so I think it's like their attempt to do that, but you have to pay for it. And also I've been reading about it. They're mostly scams, basically. They're mostly people they're bots and they're fake messages, and they're like, I think essentially trying to get money from you.
Yeah.
Like
trying to get money from you, the unemployed person.
Yeah. Requesting your services, AKA trying to like get you to like bite that they're going to like pay you to do work, but really they're not. So it's basically kind of bullshit because I'm sorry, but like knock, knock again, LinkedIn, like can someone at LinkedIn please call us because your platform is trash and now it's getting worse. It's getting like more accessible to scammers. And I feel like by and large, they're not doing shit about it. Like they're not trying to like stem the tide of scamming bullshit and like fake jobs.
No, they're not, because as long as they get some kind of like money or engagement, like they don't really, there's no motivation for them to like catch people that are like,
there's no motivation for them
to platform.
There's no motivation for them to make their platform not suck. You don't think?
Well, no, because why would there be? Because they're not.
People have to leave, I guess.
They're not making money. Yeah, people would have to leave, and they're not like making money from.
Ooh.
No.
Should we start a new LinkedIn?
Probably.
We probably should.
Because I was going to say they're not making money from the unemployed people on there.
That's true.
Unless they
pay for
if they want
account.
premium.
Yeah.
And then it's like the amount of money that they charge unemployed people for premium is like pennies in comparison to how much they charge corporations to be on there.
Yeah.
So like, what's the, you know what I mean? Like, where's the downside?
Where does the buck stop?
Where's the buck stop?
Hello.
But yeah, if I,
who said that the buck stops here?
Some president.
Was it Nixon?
I don't know.
Brittany, I really thought you were going to know that.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah, I really did.
Yeah, big presidential facts guy over here.
Okay, it was Harry Truman that said that.
Okay. Well, I told you it was a president.
The buck stops here. I mean, I knew it was a president too. I was hoping you could identify which president.
Absolutely not.
So anyways.
The only presidential quote I know is, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman."
Damn. Iconic quote.
Iconic quote.
Okay, yeah. So I guess, yeah, it's just, I don't know, another way that like scammy stuff is seeping through the cracks and infiltrating what. Do we ever think LinkedIn was a reputable platform? I'm going to say maybe it used to be, right?
Well,
at some point.
I mean, I feel like whenever I don't know, like when things first start out, they're usually like the quality control is obviously a lot better because it's smaller.
Yeah,
And
they
it's like they're
care.
trying to make you stick around because like you don't know what the platform is and like what it does. So they try to like their customer service and like attention to detail is like very meticulous because they want people to like it and stay there, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't know if like I wasn't here from the beginning of LinkedIn.
I didn't
I didn't even have one.
come
Like it was
around at the
just a
beginning
thing
either.
that they made me get after I tried to get a big girl job.
How long have you been on LinkedIn? Do you know? Like how many years you've had
No,
a LinkedIn?
I think I did. I don't know.
I
I'll have
don't
to
either.
look.
I think I made it in college when I was like about to graduate. So it's been a long time for me. And then the only reason I did that was because I had an internship and I like wanted, I don't know. It's weird. It used to be such a different thing. It used to just be like kind of like your online resume.
Right, yeah.
And now it's like, that's literally not even remotely the point of it. I guess a little bit it is, but
Well, companies still like ask you for your LinkedIn, but like I doubt they look at it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like a box that they ask for. They're like, "What's your LinkedIn?" And you like enter it into like job applications or whatever. But I don't know. I would like to talk to I want to talk to someone that like is like at an agency or big company that is tasked with like going through applications like directly from their company website and like what stuff they actually look at in these applications, if anything. Like because I feel like that used to be more of a way to get jobs is like going to the company website and filling out an application like in their platform. But I feel like now, since it's a hellscape out there, I don't feel like that is even a factor anymore. And it's literally all about knowing someone that works there.
Yeah.
But I just wonder, like, yeah, if they still even like go through those and like how often do they click on the LinkedIn profile
Yeah.
that you copy paste into that bar?
Maybe they just, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I feel like it is just another box to tick. Oh, you know what? Because I like because we released our first 3 episodes this week, I was reminded that back then, so long ago, when those
So long ago.
when those were recorded, I owe you guys an ending to a story that I didn't. I think probably you can guess what it is, but we we thought that I was gonna get this job, and even though so many times I was like, let's not jinx it or whatever, like it's not, but I think I will because I know the guy, and it's just well, I didn't get the job, and I didn't ever.
Wait, did we not talk about this
No, we never
one
did.
of the previous episodes that are in the can?
No, we
Okay.
didn't because yeah, because I've been listening back to him, and I never I never gave you guys the end of that story.
Oh
I didn't
my
get
gosh.
that job.
She didn't get that job for someone that like a person that she knew.
Yeah, a person that I knew, and also a person that said that I like was gonna get the job. Basically,
Yeah,
I don't know. It was weird.
I thought it was in the bag, and
It's so weird because you like. I think too, and we've questioned our reality so much, but
yeah,
like even
that's
the
true.
things that you hold near and dear to your heart, the things that you believe to be true, are like not anymore.
No.
Not anymore, bitch. Like, sorry, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. At this point, I really think like that. I mean, you know what I think is like you kind of have to make your own job because that's just kind of how it feels right now.
Yeah, I think so. Well, like, I mean,
You can't ask anybody for a job. You
even
got to make your own job.
even though I've been burned so many times, I feel like I'm more hopeful for like other people
Yeah.
that are and I was like, oh my
Than you
God,
are for
she's
yourself.
totally going to get it.
Yeah.
And I just was like, this is going to work out. This is going to be so great. She's going to get this job. It's going to be awesome. Like that. Why would they take, and these are things that like I have happened to me before. Like I have gone out to lunch with a friend that said they could get me
down
a job,
this road.
and I like the exact same thing, and I got my hopes up and stuff, but like I still got my hopes up again for you because I was like, no,
You're
no, no,
such a good friend.
the same thing is not going to happen to her that has happened to me numerous times, and like maybe that was like maybe I was just being a cockeyed optimist.
I think so. And then also maybe you were also like, oh, maybe you just thought like I'm the only one who has like this bad luck.
Yeah, sometimes I do think.
Turns out no, everybody has bad luck, and I know it's not everybody. I know some people are LinkedIn, but a lot of people are linked out, and
some people
a lot of
LinkedIn.
people are in recruiting hell. A lot of people are trying to fight fake jobs. I mean, there's a lot going on, and yeah, it's not, I don't take it personally. I mean, I never did. I feel like the biggest thing I've learned from you, if I could say, is not like a lesson that I can give somebody else, but just like I'm not going to take it personally. I think even when we started talking about the idea of this before we even started doing it, just knowing how much you have gone through over the past year and a half and all the bullshit and stuff, like I would just be dumb of me to ever take anything personally, because it's not personal. It's just not.
Right.
It's incredibly impersonal. And even when it feels personal, like, okay, I know somebody or whatever, it's still not. Like, you're still just another expense for someone to justify. And it's always been and continues to be strictly about the money. And yeah, I don't know. People don't really give a fuck about other people in that way. Like, you know, it's the same reason. Oh God, here I go on my soapbox. But
get off there.
I'm gonna get
No,
off. You know what? I'm just
there.
gonna stop.
No,
I'm gonna
stay
stop.
up there. No, I want to hear it. Go on.
I don't know. I was just gonna say it's the same reason that like we don't have a problem. Like people don't have a problem like driving by somebody like on the side of the road who like clearly like needs their help, and it's like, yeah, you could roll down your window and help them, like, you know, in a small way. You know, you're not gonna change their life or whatever, but that's like this. It's not any different. It's like, oh, it's not my problem. Like, I'm fed, I'm going home, I'm in my car, whatever. Like the same mentality, I think, rules the way that people treat like hiring, unfortunately. Like I just kind of am like, well, like I have a job, so like whatever, like it doesn't matter. Like that's just another person that's like, you know, I can't be worried about that, you know?
Right.
Like
yeah.
I got to go home to my family and like I'm doing my best and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I think people are programmed to think that way for like survival purposes. But
well, I mean, I even think that way to a certain extent. Like when I have a job, like of course I'm worried about my friends, like my friends getting jobs and stuff. But like when you are one of the people that has the job,
when you're a special,
I'm not all over LinkedIn. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not looking at all of this stuff. Like,
no, you're not thinking about.
I'm not thinking about it at all. Because I'm
Right.
just like, oh, thank God, like I have a job. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not like not being an asshole about it, but like, you know, like you're not thinking about, it's like the same reason that like I'm so bad at updating my portfolio when I have a job, because I'm just like, oh, well, I have a job, so why do I need to make my portfolio look
Yeah.
nice? Even though obviously you should always be doing that, but like I just can't. I literally cannot. It's just when I get laid off, that's when I frantically try to gather all my work in order to put it in my book. And then I spend the next week trying to make my book updated so that I could look for jobs frantically. And that's just the process. That's just my process. It's a very bad process.
It's a very
but that's
type B
my
process.
It's the worst process. I wouldn't recommend
whatever
it.
works for you is
No,
fine.
it doesn't work. That's the thing.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, but just to speak to your point is like, it is really hard to like worry about how you're perceived, like how you're helping like other people when you have a job when they don't have, you know what I mean? There's no, how are you? You can talk to someone at your work about it. Hey, do we have any openings? And that's kind of the extent of like
how much you're going to put your neck out.
How much you can do.
Yeah.
Even.
And that's,
you know what I mean?
Well, unless, totally. In our, like what we do. Yes, that's true. Like I wouldn't, even if I had a job, I wouldn't necessarily be making decisions like that. And at the end of the day, like you can advocate for someone to get a job, but if you're not the one who's like, I don't know, once again, where does the buck stop?
Right. Well, that's
where does the buck start?
If you're not the person, I mean, I'll tell you something. If I am ever in the position to interview someone and they don't get the job, I will make it a point to tell them exactly why.
Yeah.
And also, if they email me asking what the status is about the job, I will email them back and keep them in the loop about, and if they don't get the job, I will tell them that they don't get the job. And that's just, that's just like, I feel like if one, 2 or 3 or 4 people did that for me, I would have way less of a bad taste in my mouth about the whole process.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Not even everybody. Yeah. Just a
couple of them. Like the extent of like reasoning that I've received from people, like one person like told me a couple weeks later, like a couple of things about like the candidate. They were like, we're moving forward with another candidate because like it was that one person that like asked like how I arrived at some of the work, like some of the campaigns, and I gave them an answer that I thought was like the answer.
Yeah.
That I told them about how I arrived, and then they said they just had trouble figuring out how you got from brief to end.
You're like, good
results.
luck. Good luck
And
knowing how
like,
my brain works. I don't even know.
I was like, okay.
Good luck figuring it out.
I was like, I
interview.
thought I explained it to them in a very like clear, concise way.
And I'm sure you did.
But maybe I didn't. I mean, apparently I didn't, but they were like, they just couldn't get a grasp on how you got to got the whole overarching idea for your campaigan. And I was like, how does anybody ever get any ideas?
Yeah. How does anyone,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, how does an idea come into life?
And I was like, I thought that it would be.
At least they gave you feedback though, right?
Yeah, at least they gave me feedback. And I really did appreciate that. I don't understand their feedback, but at least they gave it to me.
Yeah.
At least they weren't just like, we're going a different direction. We're moving forward with other candidates. Yeah, it's my favorite and most common, they say absolutely nothing and you never hear from them again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, I didn't tell you this before, but there was a pretty controversial job posting on LinkedIn this week, and it was for a CEO of United Healthcare.
What? I did not know about this.
Look,
this is news.
This is news for you. Okay, this article though.
No,
it was fake. So someone it was fake, but someone,
That's hilarious.
It was posted, and it, as you say, has over 100 applicants in 1 hour.
That salary seems low.
Yeah, that was some idiot guessing that's not.
No, that guy.
He was making more than that
millions.
for sure. Yeah.
His salary is actually. I'm gonna look up his salary.
Well, my husband told me what his net worth was.
It's 50 million, right?
It was like around that. It was like 40 something, but I was like guessing. This is not a fun game to ever play with me. Is guess like the amount of something, because I always guess way, way, way higher than it is. And so it's always extremely disappointing when someone is like, oh, no, it's like way less than that. And then I'm like, oh. But yeah, I was guessing it was like, like closer to like the billions or something. Because I don't know. I always just way over guess. But yeah, I know. I don't know what money is anymore, Brittany. Okay, I don't.
Let me tell you how much this guy made. The CEO of United Healthcare Group received $23.5 million in total compensation in 2023, making him the highest paid CEO in the U.S. listed health. What is that? Pause.
I have no idea. What was that?
Oh my God.
Is that like gunshots?
No.
Question mark?
It's not what a gunshot is.
I know, but there's a tunnel right there. So would it be what it sounds like inside a tunnel?
No.
Okay.
Edit this part out.
I'm gonna edit this part out, obviously.
But I think it just sounds like a giant
Excavator.
Like a giant barrel, metal barrel rolling down a tunnel.
Fell off of a truck or something. Yeah, it could have been something like that. We'll never know.
We'll never know. Well, we'll go investigate after this
No, I'm not going to investigate.
I'm going to go investigate.
You investigate.
No, I won't.
Yeah.
Okay, so CEO of United Health Group, $23.5 million total compensation in 2023, making him the highest paid CEO of a U.S. listed health company. This compensation included $15 million in stock grants, $1.7 million in cash compensation, and $5 million in options granted, and $1.8 million from a non-equity incentive compensation plan. So that's fucking wild.
Yeah. Oh my God. So the person who that fake job posting, they had a TikTok that has at the time this article was written over 10 million views. God, I mean, the internet does not quit. It does not take any days off. The top comment, one of the top comments says, definition of take care of yourself because that job will replace you no matter what. Oh my God. Yeah. No, but okay, I guess maybe this is a good sort of way to wrap up this week's episode. I know it's a little heavy, and I did say I was going to say something funny, so maybe I will. Yeah, I will still, but I just do want to say, take care of yourself either way, job or no job. Take care of yourself because they're only person. Oh, shit, I don't have a good way to wrap that up. I know that they come and go. Jobs come and go, and they'll replace you. Period. So,
but friends are forever.
Friends are forever. Podcasts are forever.
Podcasts are forever.
The internet is forever.
Diamonds are forever. Yeah, the internet is really forever.
So
do with that what you will.
Okay. Have you heard of? This is a different way than what I was going to end it, but it's still uplifting. Have you ever heard of 2 beers and a puppy?
No.
The 2 beers and a puppy test. It's a thought exercise that originated from a book called Works Well with Others. And it's a test to determine how you feel about someone by asking yourself 2 questions. Would you gladly and willingly have 2 beers with this person? And would you allow this person to look after your puppy over a weekend? And then there's 4 groups of people based on your answers. So no, yes and no and yes, and then yes and yes.
Okay, well for you, I would have 2 beers with you, but you hate dogs.
So no, I don't. Brittany, I do not hate dogs.
Cindy hates dogs. You heard it here first.
I have 3 dogs. How could I hate dogs? Well, we just got done saying the internet is forever, and people on the internet.
I can't believe Sydney hates dogs so much. I'm just kidding. Must hate dogs. I'm just joking. Okay, I'm just sorry. I'm just kidding.
I know how I would answer it for you.
Okay, well, would it be yes or no?
It would be yes and no. No, wait. No.
I can watch your dogs.
Yeah, you could actually. I would be yes and yes. Obviously, the people that you want to work with and have in your life are obviously the yes and yes people. The no and yes people are people that are no fun, but they are responsible and they make the world a better place. The yes and no people are people you cautiously trust, I guess, not really trust. And then no and no is people that you hate, basically, or you would avoid at all costs. But I thought it was kind of a funny
Yes,
test.
that is fun.
2 beers
you
and
can
a
watch
puppy.
my dog. I love you. You can watch my dog.
I'm not going to offer to watch your dog.
I know, but it would let you.
Thanks.
Because I like you.
If he was a puppy, maybe I would.
If he's a little puppy.
Watching somebody's old crusty dog and watching their puppy are 2 different asks,
Oh,
I think.
I love my crusty dog.
No,
See,
I like
you're
your
not
dog
watching
too.
him. Get out of here.
Your dog is fine. He's not house trained, but he is fine.
No, he is. It was just,
Okay.
shut up. We're going to get in a fight.
We're going to get out and fight. We got to go fight now.
We got to go fight. We're going to go. Wait, so what was the high note? Was that the high note you want to end on?
Well,
Or do you have one more?
there's one more thing that is kind of a nice thought to end on, I guess. This person said, sometimes you have to be vulnerable. Yesterday, I shared with my LinkedIn about my current situation, i.e. that this person's been looking for work for months. Their unemployment is almost up. They don't have a safety net, and that they're like going to be homeless, basically. And so they put that all in a post on LinkedIn, and they don't have a very big network, they said, but their post has over 3,000 impressions, which is a good amount, and especially if you don't have a very big network. And then they have multiple new connections, and people are sending them job openings. And they just said that it's okay to be vulnerable because they were ready to give up, but now the kindness of strangers has brought them back. So that's a little feel-good moment for you for LinkedIn. Don't say I never said anything nice about you.
That is nice. I like that. I like ending on that. I like ending on a high note. I think
Sometimes you have to be vulnerable.
sometimes you have to be a little vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's nice, like I said, because we do talk a lot of shit, and sometimes, we can like go to that place that's like, oh fuck, it feels like nothing's gonna ever be okay.
Yeah.
But it's nice to like bring it back. Because it's all about balance.
Reel it back in.
Reel it back in.
All right. Well, that's all I got this week. What do you got? Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think that's it.
Great.
Cool.
Thanks,
Good.
everybody.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, please give us a 5-star review. Email us at linkedoutpod@gmail.com and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at linkedoutpod. Your support means everything, and we fucking love you. Mwah.
That was
Bye,
cute.
bestie.